Hey, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I'm waiting for the little wheel to stop spinning and then I know that I'm really live. There we go. Hello. Happy Fairy Friday. It's Margaret Sample here coming to you from the beautiful Niagara region of Ontario in Canada. And every week, or almost every week, I bring you messages from the Faery Folk, the Fairy Kingdom, using Brian Froud's beautiful Fairy Oracle deck. And sometimes I see comments, sometimes I don't see them until later. I do try to monitor. Hey, good morning, Leia. So this is a good sign that I'm seeing a comment. Yay. Please feel free to comment. And if you're watching it on replay, I do tend to check in too. And I love and appreciate your little thumbs up and your hearts. And your personal messages really touch my heart too. So thank you for all that great feedback. I will continue to do this for quite a while because you guys keep telling me you want me to. So that's awesome. If you're watching today, whether you're watching live or on replay, it's because today's message has resonance for you. So please know that if you're watching this, you're meant to get this message. So I think without further ado, I love that phrase, I am going to shuffle the cards and wait and see who comes forward with their message this morning. Oh, okay. Who jumps? All right. This is Ilbe or Ilbe the Retriever. Ilbe the Retriever. Let's see if I can get this guy's face up here for you. He has such kind, compassionate energy for me. Oh, look, we've got a scammer already. Guys, remember, if somebody is contacting you on someone else's feed for a reading, yeah, just please report them as spam and block them and delete them and all that jazz. I try to do it, but I can't keep up with them. So anyway, Ilbe the Retriever. I love his energy. It's so, like I said, it's so kind and compassionate and oh, my darling, he looks like. He is one of the helpline troop. And the helpline troop are like we think of them as like the wee folk of fairy, whether or not they're wee, but they'll assist us in our daily lives. Okay, sometimes they add to the confusion in their attempts to assist us, but they really are trying to be helpful. The helpline troop can come from all five. They're associated with all five elements of fairy, right? So earth, air, water, fire, and moonlight. Some of them work solo, some of them work in groups, but they're all full of life. They're usually kind of sassy and sometimes very mischievous. And they're often who we think of when we think of like brownies and pixies and those kind of fairies. They're often members of the helpline troop. And while they are willing to work with us anywhere, like all fairies, the helpline troop particularly loves it when we are outside in nature with them. So, Ilbe. So this fellow, he is in charge of the Office of Unclaimed Property, Unclaimed Hopes and Wishes, and he is also really associated with loyalty. Okay, so if you look, when I look at him, he just seems to look right into your soul. And you'll notice he's holding a seed or a pearl at his throat, which is the communication center. Okay, and pearls, as you know, pearls are created when a little grit gets into the oyster and it builds up the protection and builds it up and builds it up and builds it up and turns it into something beautiful. And of course, seeds are what we plant to create new experiences and new life. Sue just says, why do I always catch you live after I've just done my hair? I don't know. I just cut my hair too. My own self. It's always challenging, right? Cutting your hair during lockdown. But I've become quite adept at cutting my husband's hair. He says he's never going to go to a hairdresser again. Who knows? Anyway, good morning, Deb. So, um, Ilbe. Okay. Above all, Ilbe is a protector. He retrieves and he safeguards our lost hopes, our forgotten dreams, and sometimes things in the real physical world, like mislaid keys or, Now, sometimes he will actually hide your keys or something in order to protect them. Okay, somebody might come along and grab these keys. I'll make sure they're well hidden. Sometimes he also is saying to you, you need to be more organized, and I can help you with that. I am a loyal friend, and I will help you be more organized, and I will hide your keys so that you get a better organizational system. I guess he has kind of a funny voice because I'm starting to talk funny. But that is, so that's part of what he does. But mostly, he's about the wishes, the hopes and the dreams, right? He holds the seeds of our future, our potential futures, very carefully and delicately until we're ready to return to them, to commit to them, right? You know those things that you used to dream about, or you sort of tucked them away and you haven't gone back to them? He has them kind of in, if you would imagine, he holds them all in safekeeping. It's like an unclaimed room, right? Lost and found, except they're not lost. They're just sort of unclaimed at the moment. Sometimes when we have given up on a dream and he intuits that it's time for us to maybe be ready to look at it again, he can arrange some subtle or maybe not so subtle reminders for us. So, for example, bringing people into our lives that spark memories or spark interest again in our lost hopes and dreams, or maybe putting an event in front of us that brings something front and center into our minds. When this happens, we really need to look at these dreams, hopes, things that we had in our mind before, and look at them again and figure and consider how we might be able to manifest them, whether it is that time, right? Sue says bang on. Ilbe always shows up to remind you of something you've lost sight of. So whether it's a hope or a dream or a plan, you may have thought it would never be possible. You may have given up on it. And he's saying, reconsider. He believes you can deal with it now. Okay? And somehow there's a way you can bring it into your life. So it's really fun when he shows up because he is often a harbinger of good news. I love that word, harbinger. The first time I was doing it in a Shakespeare monologue many, many years ago, I thought it was pronounced harbinger, and I was embarrassed. But anyway, so a harbinger, a messenger, a forerunner of good news, a harbinger of good news. And he is saying, perhaps to you right now, look at that kind face, that your dream is manifesting, and all you need to do is open your heart and mind to it. Sometimes he's saying that's all you need to do is just be open to it. Usually with him, there is work involved. So it's kind of like be open to it, but also do some steps. So for example, say you've always wanted to record a song. Well, perhaps the opportunity shows up, but you need to follow up on it. You need to apply. You need to make sure your voice is in shape, whatever. Okay, that's like an example. Ilbe also always reminds us of loyalty, of being loyal to yourself and loyal to the people and ideas who are important to you. Okay? Now, the other side of this too is something important to you being held back by a negative attitude right now? When Ilbe shows up, perhaps it is time to stop saying, oh, I can't do that, I can't do that, and investigate, I can. And perhaps you don't feel like I can right away, but maybe you start off with, well, what if I tried this? What if? Okay, so open up possibilities to have things come to fruition that you hadn't really considered before. And rather than going, oh, I can't grow roses in my garden, I can't. What if I brought in some extra soil? And what if I looked into roses that are hardy in my growing zone? And what if I had a friend help me who has a good luck with roses? Okay, like what if it were possible? How wonderful would that be, right? Hummingbirds love roses. I don't know if they're supposed to, but they always come to see my roses. So, now the other thing is sometimes a particular seed is not ready to germinate. Maybe it's not time to plant it. And we know this, especially here in Canada. Some things get planted in the fall, some things get planted in the spring. Many things we have to wait until it's been a certain temperature outside before we plant things, right? All of those things. And we sometimes have to deal with other things before we can plant the seed. So sometimes we need to finish something up. Maybe you need to pull out some unwanted weeds or unwanted things from your life. We're back to decluttering again. Oh, when will we stop hearing about decluttering, right? And maybe you need to nurture some of your existing plants, and maybe you need to nurture your earth to make a space ready for this new seed. And of course, when I'm talking about gardens, it is also an analogy for your life, right? So, yeah, he is just a wonderful fellow showing up to say, dreams are not lost. Hopes are not lost. I just heard really clearly in my head, please everybody know right now, it's a hard time. It's a hard time. But dreams are not lost, and hope is not lost, and love is not lost. He is holding on to some of those things that we hold dear and we want to have, that we maybe we maybe can't. It's not the right time for them. Or maybe, yeah, it's not the right time for them. But he's keeping them safe, and we can keep our hopes and dreams alive, even if they're dormant. So please know that, and also please look for ways to be true to yourself and make yourself ready. Allow yourself to become ready for whatever's going to be coming next. I just feel so calm and delighted with this fairy coming forward today. I'm also going to suggest to you that you make sure you're nourishing yourself properly. We have to compost, we have to do all that stuff with our soil to get it ready. Same with our own beings, spiritually, physically, emotionally, and mentally. Prepare yourself for something wonderful, because I just heard really clearly in my head, something wonderful is coming for each and every one of you who is seeing this, which is just about the nicest thing I've been able to say for a long time. So I'm going to end on that note for this week. Happy Fairy Friday. If you want to know more about the work that I do, please visit my website, www.margaretsample.com. And have a wonderful Fairy Friday, a wonderful week, and I will see you soon. Hold tight to your dreams. Mwah. And you're welcome, Nancy. Okay, bye for now, guys.